Hi friends, thanks so much for joining me today. I have a really fun and quick project that you can make this weekend. This is a one-page wonder and it was so fun to put together. There's definitely a lot of scoring and a lot of cutting. So my suggestion is grab a piece of scrap that you just want to kind of try the project in. Like I just grab a piece of scrapbook paper that I'm not too excited about. I always make like a template with it, and then I always make a template of it or like a sample of it, and then I use that to go back and make the other one. Before I get started though, I did want to say thank you so much for your support, and those of you as well that support me on Coffee and in my shop. I did want to mention I have a video either before this one or right after this one where I have some updates in the shop. There's a new journal coming in, so I wanted to give you a heads up on that in case that video is either before or after. And then I also wanted to mention that my giveaway is still open until the end of the month, and you can enter. You don't have to send anything in. It is a challenge giveaway that I have, and it is dealing with snail mail. So if you wanted to check out that video, I will link it below and in the cards above on the top right of the video. All right, let's get started. Again, thank you so much. Welcome. I am Liz at Liz the Paper Project. I have many videos showing you tutorials and craft with me projects, and some of my favorites are the one-page wonders. Okay, so this one was inspired by Camellia Craft Designs. I don't even remember how long ago the video was, but like I said, I usually, follow along a video. I make myself a little sample and then I tuck in my notes and then who made it. And then I kind of remember that as I am, putting another one together to show you. So this one, I just tied it with some of this really lovely ribbon. I haven't quite decided if I want a permanent closure or not. I did use this beautiful paper, designer paper, and it's from, I think, a Michael's paper pad. I've been wanting to use that, so I thought this was so nice because it's got some of those little kind of gold, shine pieces to it. All right, so I'll show you what I did. We'll make one together, and then I'll give you kind of the breakdown of how I decorated it as well, just in case you want some ideas. When we open it up, you see that it has a couple of, different pockets, and that's what I love most about it. You basically use your entire 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and you're left with a tiny little scrap. That's it. So we'll start on this side. This is a little flip up pocket, and we've got a tag in here, and then I have a little tuck spot here as well, and this folds down. You open it up again, and then you've got another tag in this pocket. You've got another tiny little tag in this little tuck spot, another one there, another pocket here, a nice larger pocket in the back. Then you've got the center pocket, and then another pocket at the top. And it is just so quick and easy to put together once you actually cut up all your pieces. For this center here, I just wanted to mention before I go ahead and start the tutorial. The pocket, you can certainly glue this pocket and leave it open so it goes all the way down, but I glued it sort of up to here so that it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. This one, of course, goes down to the bottom. This one, however, I did leave it so that it could go all the way down to the bottom here. And of course, I've got the additional little pocket there. So you can see it's full of spaces to add different pockets. I could certainly add maybe a belly band here if I wanted as well. Some of these lovely pieces as well are just from ephemera that I had in my stash. Yeah, that's it, my friends. So we can make one here, and hopefully you will have fun making some to send to friends, send in snail mail, and, you know, make someone's day with a little project that you can share. I did again want to mention, thank you so much for joining me. I will leave links to my shop if you're interested in checking it out. I do have some digitals, and I also have some journals as well. Check out my playlist for One Page Wonder tutorials. I have quite a few of those. Plus I have many craft with me videos as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and share the video if you'd like someone else to, you know, make one themselves. All right, let's get started. Okay, so select your 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I decided to use a single-sided one so you could see my score lines a little bit better. I'm going to use the bottom part of this page as my actual folio, and the rest we will be using for the pockets and tuck spots that we are going to be filling in. So the first cut is going to be cutting it in half, so it is now a 6 by 12 piece of paper. And this is the direction that I want it to open for me. So I think the best thing for you to do is just to see what I make and how I make it, and then you can go back and see the paper that you're going to be selecting and how you'll be scoring it, so you can get that same look. So I'm starting my score at 2.5, and what I'll do is I'll put the actual score items or the score on the screen, because I think I'll mix it all up if I start to say it. Sometimes I do that and then it just confuses everyone. So I'll put the scores on the screen. I'll also put it in the description box of the video. And if you can't find that description box, then we'll go to my coffee page. I'll also have the measurements there as well. So you can see I've made 5 scores on this paper. We've got those 2 there, and then the last one. Now, the one thing to remember is where you make your single score is where you're going to be turning your paper and sort of turning it upside down, or I'm not even sure how to say that. The back of the paper, I should say. All right. So let me just show you what I mean. Place your paper how you scored it again. And where you have that single score, turn your paper on the shorter side and score at 4 inches, which is going to be, and it's going to make your flap for your pocket. So hopefully you can envision what I'm saying here from what I showed you at the beginning. So you would turn it to the short side of your paper and then score at 4 inches from the bottom. So this is actually the top here. The tiny little square is the top, and then you'll be cutting beside the score line, so you kind of cut off a sliver, and this just helps with your flap to be able to fold properly when you want that that fold to fold in to your page there, so you can see what I mean. All right, so as I said, it's probably easier if you kind of watch what I do before you kind of put one together. Now I'm folding at the other score lines. Remember, we made 2 score lines on each side here, and this is just going to give us that little gusset, that, you know, extra little space, so when we put our pockets in and everything we tuck into the pocket, it'll have a little bit of room and it won't be kind of too bulgy. All right, so we are now going to cut the other 6 by 12 piece and make our little pockets with it. So we take it and we cut 2 pieces from it. One is 12 by 3 1/4. The other one is 12 by 2 3/4. So we're going to take the smaller piece and we're going to make a few cuts here. Okay, so I have it on the screen. You'll be making 2 at 2 1/2, one that is 2 3/4, and one that is 3 3/4. So you are basically going to be left with 4 pieces from your 12 by 2 3/4 piece. So here I'm just showing you the pieces you have left. And then this tiny little bit, you can save it for something else, maybe a little belly band or something, but that's all you would have left from that first sheet of paper. So then we take the next piece, which is the 12 by, again, I'm not going to remember. This is the last piece that we had, and we cut this one in half. Again, I'll put the measurements on the screen. Now on the shorter side of one of the halves, we cut this one at 1.5. Okay, so I've got now 2 pieces. The shorter one is 1.5. And then we've got one that's a little bit wider. I'm just going to put the number on it here so you know what I'm talking about. So this piece here, we're going to cut another piece from it. And this one is going to be at 2 3/4 by, and it's on the screen again, 1 1/4. We're left with this last piece, and then we're cutting this piece off of it. So we're cutting 3 3/4 off of that last piece. There we go. So now we're left with these 2 little extra pieces that could be a tag, it could be another tuck spot, etc. So now I'm just showing you the different pieces we're left with, and we're going to assemble. So we'll take our 2.5 by 2 3/4 pieces. These are 2 pockets. One goes in the front of our little folio and the other one goes on the back of that little flap. And here I'm just making the little notches so you can actually see that it's a pocket. And again, it would be so nice to use double-sided paper, I think, because then you have like a different design on either side. But for the purposes of the video, I wanted to make it on these single-sided paper so you could see what I'm doing here. Now here I'm just showing you that you could have this flap on either side, except I'm going to put it on this side because if I turned the flap on the other side of the flip, then my little bee would be upside down. So basically, I am covering up these beautiful little roses, but it just makes more sense with the way that this paper is designed. But you could essentially, you know, flip your top of your pocket on the other side instead if you wanted to. Now here I'm taking one of the pieces and I'm just adding glue to the 3 sides. And then this one will be attached to the front. And I'll be doing the same with the flap when we turn it the other way. So I'll show you in a minute. I'm just waiting for this to adhere. I also prefer to use wet glue for these projects because if you use double-sided tape, whatever you stick in the pocket will actually get stuck to that double-sided tape. So I find using wet glue is much better. I do have links to my favorite supplies in the description box below if you're interested. I have an Amazon favorites list plus some others that I use as well, and I will link those below because I usually get asked you know, some of the things that are my favorite and things that I use often. So here we take our other pocket, and again I just added glue to 3 sides, and now you can see we've got another little pocket. So this is what I meant. The flap could turn this way if I wanted to, or it could stay on this side, but the reason I chose it on the front there is because of the bee. I didn't want the bee to be upside down. All right, so now we take that smaller piece that we cut to 1.5, and it's 1.5 by 6 basically. And again, we're making a little notch. And now this is going to be our little tuck spot on the right side flap there. Again, I'm just going to be adding glue to 3 sides and then attaching it to my little flip there. Other options, like I said, you could use the two pieces that we have left over to make little tags or to make other little tuck spots. I think, again, it depends on the paper that you use, how, you know, how different designs can be shown on this little project. But for now, I'm just using this color to show you the project. And again, not my original idea, as I mentioned, it was from Camellia Craft Designs. I think that is her name. I will link her channel below. Oh my gosh, she has such amazing videos as well. And she's just such a funny, just fun lady to listen to. All right, so we take our 2 larger pieces and then our 2 smaller pieces that we have left from our cutting here. So you see I've got the smaller piece on the top and the larger piece at the bottom. And how you'll know is your bottom pockets all line up once you've glued them on. Again, I'm going to be just cutting that little thumb notch, I think it's called, that little notch at the top to show that it's little pockets. So I've got my smaller piece and my larger piece, and I'm going to attach the smaller to the larger because that does definitely make it easier when you are putting them on your base of your folio. And I'm only adding glue to 2 sides of it because I want I don't really need to to glue the bottom there, or else I'd be, gluing my pocket down, the one that's at the bottom. I think you know what I mean by that. So anyways, just added glue to the two little corners. And now I'm just double checking how it's going to look. And now I'm just going to add glue to 3 sides of this pocket. And now you'll see how that back pocket at the top goes all the way down, because I'm not adding glue to that bottom portion of it. And so again, just adding glue to 3 sides, and then we'll be attaching this. So as I said, I will be showing you how I added the different little additional little, tuck spots and pockets once it's finished. Once we finish with the base, then of course it's all about how you decorate it and the different, items that you want to add to it, the different ephemera to just kind of decorate it. All right, so again, you can see I'm using the bottom pocket lines up with the other 2 bottom pockets, and then that top pocket, you can kind of move it up and down. It doesn't really matter how high you want it, but I'm just leaving about, I would say, a ½ an inch from the top, so that I can put something, a little bit deep in that pocket. And again, I'm going to cut that little notch so it shows that its pocket's there. And then we've got that pocket there, and then this one will be added to the bottom. So you can see how that's kind of being put together. Now here, I add glue to the 3 sides of it, which means I close that pocket right where it ends here, right? If I wanted it to go all the way to the bottom, you would only add glue to the left and the right side of that pocket, and then you could attach something larger that goes all the way to the bottom. All right, so I wanted to mention that in case you're gluing this and you wanted to make the pocket a little bit deeper. So again, here I just added glue to 3 sides because of course I'm closing the bottom of this pocket. And now you've got all these different little pockets and sections that you can add all your fun ephemera to. So I hope you like this quick tutorial, my friends. I really do love one-page wonders. I love creating with the 12 by 12 sheets of paper and making, a nice base that can be decorated and embellished. So that's really fun. So here I'm just showing you can use the leftover pieces that we had to cover any spots. But again, I ended up using some of the ephemera pieces that I had from before. Now I'm going to go ahead and make sure to cut the corners off here to round them off, because it does actually look nicer. She ended up doing the same thing with hers. Now I was thinking it would be so nice to make these into, of course, like a nice shabby chic style. Like this one's kind of like more like summery. We could also do like a Tim Holtz style one. So I think all the different ones would be so nice to put together. If you do make one, don't forget to tag me, and I would love to see what you make, so don't forget to tag me on your social media. And now let me just show you some ideas on how I decorated this. So this is what I'm talking about with this little flap. You could either tuck it on this side or on this side. And of course it worked out better for me because of the little bee. Otherwise it would have been upside down. So I did add a little, a little tuck on this side. So it's like an additional kind of tuck spot on that side. I added that little spot there to make a little tuck spot. And then I added that other one here as well. Now this one, I could have made it another little tuck spot, but I just decided to leave the bird because I thought it was beautiful. And then of course here we could make a belly band if you wanted to add something else to that, or tiny little pockets as well. So you can see how fun this is to put together. And it is just, it fits also nice enough to put in an envelope because it's not so embellished. But of course you can go all out and, embellish this even better. So I hope you enjoyed the video, my friends. Don't forget to check out my playlists. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you very soon with another video. Thanks so much for stopping by.